I would like to say, so I represent first of all myself. I work for Accenture. It's a very good company, but I will do my best to convince you that not working for even the best company in the world, it's not the best you could do for yourself. Sorry. Okay, so we are talking, and I've noticed that the subject of money, it's so important and so exciting to many of us. And we were talking about Bitcoin and all this nice modern, I would say, form of money. Because I'm an accountant, so I'm a little bit old-fashioned. So I will present you, I will try to convince you to start your own company, because this is the best and the most efficient thing you could do for yourself. How many of you already has an own company? Okay. So how many of you is, including myself, on a salary? Okay, so half. So we will see how it works, how much you really pay on simple stuff, and the decision whether it's yours. I made my own decision already. Okay, you know what is guaranteed in life?
Death.
And taxes.
And taxes. If it's going about taxes, you could be 100% sure that the taxes in any state will be higher and higher in time. I used to do accounting for, 20 years already, and what I've noticed that even the tax rates are fixed, the taxes you pay are higher. Because you have, like in Poland, it's really tricky that you pay certain fees to certain government bodies. That you need to, if you go to government to ask for something, you need to pay 30 zloty. In other body, you need to pay 50. Oh, you are so lovely. So, he or she, he, okay. If it's going about money, the money and taxes, the one thing you need to distinguish, it's profit and income, and this was said by the first person that the sequence matters. In math, I like it. In math, it really matters how you count, and when you do your own business, it really matters how you count, because when you are on income, you basically allowed to pay taxes on every single thing you do in life, almost. When you are on profit, you pay also taxes, but you pay taxes on the thing which remains after your expenses. It's very simple. You have almost the same tax rates, but the actual amount you pay differs. Let's see on an example. Let's say you want to buy a brand new MacBook for $100, and we are here in Polish reality, so we are paying 23% on VAT, and we have 90% on personal or corporate income tax. Let's have a look how much you as a business owner will pay, how much somebody like me, so employed by a very good company, will pay, and how much from both parties the government will get. It's very simple. Employee, just to get a paycheck for $1K, you need to have 1,300 gross a month. So it means that when you get 1K in your pocket, you already paid 300. When the business owners get an invoice, what he will see, this is his cost. 800 because 154 it's a VAT, which is, in this case, it's his credit. He doesn't need to pay that. How much the government will get? Quite a lot, because from this transaction, the government will get 300 of your personal taxes, income tax, and will get almost 200 on VAT. So half of the price you pay goes to government on your taxes. And when you see a business owner on income tax, you get tax deduction because it's your cost of 19%. So 150, it's your credit, and another credit, it's 187, which is VAT. So being a business owner means that you are not paying, you are receiving taxes from the government. Who pays taxes? Somebody like me. As you could see, the VAT, you are not paying, but somebody pays. The amount which is on income taxes, it's almost double. So, on the end, people who are employed are paying all the taxes and generating the revenue for everybody in this country, any country, to be honest. And you know what? This is, I knew about that, but preparing this presentation, when I set up and calculated that, I was just, I couldn't believe. I was just, really? It cost so much, and it's not effective, and you pay, and this situation, the VAT, why any governments, especially in Poland, it's increasing VAT rate, because it's the easiest tax to collect, because they are getting this tax on any transaction. You go to a grocery store and you pay VAT on anything. So this is, it's in the law. It's written that at certain point of time, the VAT rate of 23 will be decreased to 22. And guess what? The government is saying, oh, maybe, when we met certain criteria, it will happen. In my opinion, it won't. Because it's so easy to get this money. Does it, all these numbers are convincing you to change your mind, to think about your own business. And why the government has all this unemployment programs and all this stuff? Because they really need plenty of employees. Because they really need plenty of people who will pay taxes and create the PGB. And we get to the accounting principle. When you pay taxes, it's your liability, but from the government perspective, it's it's their asset. And this is what you need to remember, and this is basic accounting stuff. Every transaction has twofold effects, and it has twofold effects on micro scale and macro scale as well. So in your company, it's what the accountant does. It just matching debit and credits to any transaction, but it also has the same effect. So if something is your asset, it means somebody has liability. And this is the tricky, probably nobody will tell you about that. I used to be an accountant for many years, and after reading the book of Kiyosaki, when he stated just such a simple things, I was just, okay, I never thought about that way. That if I'm having liability, like my bank mortgage, it's an asset for the bank. So you better, in my opinion, it's worth to have that broader perspective on things. And remember, keep this in mind. And accounting is always about, two sides, like this Zen accounting picture. So when you have giver, somebody receives. When you have receivables, somebody needs to pay that, so somebody has liability. When you have assets, it's somebody's liability to pay costs and revenue, profit and loss. This is, accounting is very simple, and it's. I've met so many people saying that accounting is boring, and I think it's because there's so many, like in IT and anything, there's so many, the language, it's so, it's slang, that people are not, okay, they're talking about different, just odd stuff. And I think
3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay. I won't bother you with this accounting. If you want, you could ask me. But I will tell you one thing about money. Because before working for Accenture, I used to have my own company, and we were talking about money. And you know what I discovered? That most of people are thinking that to start your own company, you need to have a lot of money. No. A lot of money, when you get a lot of money, it means that you easily spend it for a brand new car, Porsche, whatever you want. But when you don't have money, you need to think and be very, very creative. And I think, I would guess that the most successful startups start on very low budget. And this is the best way to start your own business. Think what you are good at, what you like doing, and just do it. And find the people who are interested. And do it your way. Not do it by, by examples. Just to find your own way and sell it to the market. Find the market. And one more thing about startup. You don't need to, there's one of the myths that you need to have a brand new idea about starting a startup. If it's going to be successful, think about creating something what already exists and learn their mistakes they made and create something similar. It cannot be huge. If it pays your bills and you don't need to go every day to work, and you could do it from your kitchen table, it's okay. This is, it's also my discovery, because my business, which I had, was very equity consuming, because I used to renovate old apartments. So I found a few ruined apartments, renovated, sell it. On the good point of time, I was lucky. But this is, from the time perspective, it's so difficult just to find such a pool of money to finance that. So now what I'm thinking, okay, I have very limited amount of money. What I could do with this money? What I like doing? What is my passion? And what is unique about myself? I found it just this way, not because I had plenty of money to spend, because I have very limited amount of money. I really start my thinking. Okay, I better do something, because working even for a very good company, it's not making me happy. It's not getting me satisfaction. I'm just good at work, and that's it. And it's not, it's not making me smile, just running to work and waking up at 6. Oh God, I'm gonna go to work. No. And I think it's worth in life to find something which makes you, excited, which makes your day and your life.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we stop in here or?
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you so much. The last chance for asking the questions tonight. So before pizza and more beer. So use it wisely.
Please don't hungry.
So from your presentation, you presented it in a way that really having your own business is great, and working for somebody else sucks. But in life, it's always a trade-off. So my question is, what is the trade-off? What do you lose when you're self-employed, when you have your own business, and what do you gain when you're just employed?
Oh, well, I think it's a very good question, because I'm in the situation that I know both ends.
Because especially you are working for somebody.
Yeah, right? I'm working for somebody, and my motivation was because my business just ended up because the market was down and there was no financial reason to continue. So I've tried many things. I just learned, okay, I'm very good at selling stuff and different stuff. It doesn't matter. It matters to me just that I'm convinced that it's a very good thing. But I used to be an accountant and I used to get very good money. So I decided, okay, it's my compromise. I need to have stable income, and just to get the stability, This was the first step. And I said, okay, now it's time to think what I really want to do. Because my income is stable, and I want to start my part-time job just to generate something which is, from the bottom of my heart, which makes me smile. So the compromise, I would say, it's your freedom. This is what you sell for income. And
for maybe a stable
for a stable income. The question is whether, this is one of my favorite words which I found in a book. It's wage slave, which precisely describes the thing I'm talking about here. So the question is whether you want to be a wage slave till end of your life, or whether you decide at a certain point, okay, I'm gonna take risk and win or lose, but win something important. From my company, I've learned that I could do anything I want. The question is whether I want.
Thank you. Any more questions now? There will be a chance also to talk with Agnieszka during the networking, I hope.
If you have accounting questions, I'm open.
Okay. If there is nobody anymore, I would like to thank Agnieszka once again